I've taken a game with a $600 rifle in the middle of nowhere, off a bug-out trail, when every shot had to count because, in a real survival scenario, there ain't room for second chances. You don't need a $1,500 Safe Queen when there are rifles under $700 that'll punch dime-sized groups and still ride in the back of your rig without whining. Fellow preppers, this is Scott from Ant Prepper, and today we're diving into the most accurate, budget-friendly hunting rifles you can count on when the grid's down, and your rifle's the only thing standing between you and an empty pot. But before we dive in, do me a solid, hit that like and subscribe button. Those clicks help keep this channel alive and let me keep bringing real-world gear reviews to preppers, survivalists, and anyone just trying to make it through the madness out there. Now let's get into it. Savage Axis 2 XP. I've always had a soft spot for gear that just plain works. No fluff, no fancy branding, just raw utility. That's exactly what drew me to the Savage Axis 2 XP. I wasn't looking to impress anyone at the range. I needed a rifle that could drop deer cleanly, ride in the back of my truck, and hold zero through the kind of rough weather we see out here in the sticks. Savage has been around forever, known for practical shooters, and this model fits right into that lineage. I picked mine up in .308 Winchester for around $520, and it came with a factory-mounted Bushnell Banner 3-9x40 scope, already bore-sighted, just a few clicks at 100 yards, and I was on paper. The big game changer for me was the AccuTrigger. Factory triggers in this price range usually feel like you're snapping a tree branch, but this one is adjustable from 2.5 to 6 pounds, and mine came from the shop set just under 3.5. It breaks like glass with zero creep. For me, that's crucial when you're taking a steady shot from a cold hillside, with the wind in your face and just a few seconds to make it count. No need to fight the trigger, just press and let it break. The 22-inch barrel is carbon steel, button-rifled, and free-floated, and while it's not threaded, that wasn't a deal-breaker for me. I've been shooting Hornady American Whitetail and Federal Power Shock, and I've consistently held one MOA group at 100 yards off a basic bipod. The bolt is a two-lug system with a 90-degree throw, which is standard, and yeah, it's a little tall compared to some newer setups, but it locks up tight and cycles smoothly. I've never had it bound up, even after getting knocked around in the bed of my ATV. The synthetic stock is basic, lightweight, and pillar-bedded. Nothing fancy, but it fits right, and the molded-in grip texture does its job when things get slick. The 4-round detachable box mag feeds clean every time, and I've yet to experience a single misfeed or double feed. Out in the field, it's a no-nonsense rifle that stays accurate, stays dependable, and won't break the bank. If you're a prepper looking for a one-rifle solution, the Axis 2 XP is tough to beat. Mauser M18 Savannah. The first time I laid hands on the Mauser M18 Savannah, I knew right away this wasn't just another cookie-cutter bolt gun trying to ride the budget wave. Mauser's been building rifles that outlive their owners since before most of us were born, and with the M18 Savannah, they brought that same battle-hardened DNA into a rifle that's rugged, modern, and shockingly affordable. After running it through cold weather, wet brush, and some long days on Overwatch at the edge of the property, I'll say this. Mauser built this one for folks like us who expect gear to work no matter what. I got one for around $600, chambered in .308 Winchester, and it held quite impressively. The 22-inch cold hammer-forged barrel is where it all starts. It's threaded 5/8 by 24 out of the box, which lets me mount my suppressor without touching a tool bench. The barrel's finished in a matte Savannah tan Cerakote-style coating that shrugs off rain, mud, and blood without any rust or shine. I was stacking sub-MOA groups at 100 yards using Hornady Precision Hunter, and even my older Federal soft points were grouping tight. The 3-lug bolt is butter smooth with a 60-degree throw, so I can cycle rounds fast and clear optics without breaking cheek weld. Something you appreciate when you're lying in the weeds, cold and tense, waiting for a clean shot. The adjustable trigger came from the factory breaking right at about 2.5 pounds, and it stayed crisp through everything. It's not gritty, it's not spongy. It just breaks clean every time, exactly when you need it to. The 3-position safety is another solid aspect about the rifle. It lets me clear the chamber or top off the mag while staying locked, and that's a big deal when you're working in sketchy conditions or moving quietly through the cover. The Savannah synthetic stock might look plain, but it's no toy. It's got steel bedding sleeves molded into the receiver inlet, rubberized grip inserts, and a removable recoil pad with a hidden compartment inside. I keep a bore snake and a Bic lighter in mine, The 5-round internal mag feeds smoothly and reliably, and it's one less thing to rattle loose when you're on the move. If you had to bug out with just one affordable bolt gun, this Mauser should be in your hands. Mossberg Patriot Predator. Most folks think Mossberg and picture shotguns, but the moment I ran my first mag through the Patriot Predator, I knew this rifle wasn't just a side project. Mossberg might be known for scatterguns, but they poured decades of field experience into this bolt gun, and it shows in every pull of the trigger. I picked up one in 6.5 Creedmoor right before a late-season mule deer hunt, paid around $540, and I wasn't expecting it to outperform rifles twice its price. But it did. This wasn't just a budget buy, it was a calculated prepper decision. Lightweight, dead reliable, and damn accurate. This rifle checked every box for backwoods survival and practical hunting. The 22-inch fluted barrel is threaded 5/8 by 24, which meant my suppressor screwed on without fuss. That's critical when you're trying to stay quiet and undetected, whether you're stalking a game or just staying gray during uncertain times. The barrel's button-rifled and free-floated, and between that and the solid bedding, I was holding 1 minute of angle group at 100 yards using nothing fancy, just off-the-shelf Hornady American whitetail, and it held 0 through a snowstorm, a week in the truck rack, and a couple of hard falls on rocky ground. Mossberg gave this rifle their lightning bolt action trigger, and it's no gimmick. It's adjustable from 2 to 7 pounds, and mine breaks like glass at just under 3. Not gritty, no drag, it's just clean. The spiral fluted bolt isn't just for looks either. That 90-degree lift cycles fast and doesn't interfere with my scope. I've run that bolt with frozen gloves in the dark on the tail end of a long sit, and it has never let me down. The synthetic stock might not win beauty contests, but it is pillar-bedded, durable, and textured just right where you need grip. It's light enough for steep terrain and strong enough for real-world abuse. The 4-round drop box mag feeds smoothly, with no jams, even when I mixed brands just to test it. And Mossberg already mounted a Picatinny rail, so mounting glass was a 5-minute job. Out in the field or holed up on the homestead, this rifle's more than capable. For under $600, the Patriot Predator isn't just good. It's one of the smartest rifles a prepper can own. CVA Cascade. I never used to think of CVA when it came to bolt-action rifles. I always pegged them as a muzzle-loader brand, and to be fair, they built their name on that. But when they rolled out the Cascade, something told me to give it a shot, and I'm glad I followed that gut feeling. Picked mine up in a .308 Winchester for around $650, slapped on a Vortex scope, and the first time I zeroed it at the edge of the tree line behind my cabin, it was stacking holes like a match rifle. This thing ain't just a budget bolt gun, it's a backwoods workhorse built with survival in mind. Let's talk about its barrel. It's 22 inches of cold hammer-forged steel, free-floated and threaded 5/8 by 24, ready for a suppressor. In my world, that's essential. Whether I'm clearing varmints off the property or keeping it quiet during meat runs, I don't want a rifle that blasts my ears out. It runs sub-MOA groups all day with federal gold medal match and even holds tight with basic Winchester hunting loads. The way CVA builds it, with a Savage-style barrel nut, means I can rebarrel it later if the world really does go sideways and .308 rounds get scarce. The action is smoother than you'd expect at this price point. That 2-lug bolt has a 70-degree throw, and the oversized bolt knob gives you a solid purchase, even with cold or gloved hands. Mine has never hung up once, not in freezing weather, not even when packed with dust. The flush-fit 4-round magazine feeds clean, and I've field-cycled dozens of rounds without a single misfeed. The stock is no frills but tough. Fiberglass-reinforced synthetic with grippy soft touch panels, and you can feel the aluminum bedding pillars doing their job the moment you torque the action down. Now here's the part that really sold me, the Remington 700 footprint. That opens the door for aftermarket stocks and triggers if you want to customize, but honestly, the factory adjustable trigger on mine breaks like glass at just under 1.6 pounds. Out in the field, it's taken deer clean, rode in the back of my ATV, and still prints tight groups without fuss. If you're a prepper who wants a dead reliable rifle that performs well above its price tag, the CVA Cascade is one you can trust your bacon with. Ruger American Predator. Back when I first started dialing in my gear for a long-term bug-out setup, I knew I needed a rifle that could pull double duty, accurate enough to drop a whitetail at 200 yards, but rugged enough to ride behind the seat of my truck through mud, snow, and God knows what else. That's when I picked up the Ruger American Predator, and I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting match-grade performance out of something in the 550 to 620 range. But this thing changed my whole perspective on what a budget rifle could really do. Ruger has been in the game for decades, and they know how to build tools for folks who live outside the wire. What impressed me right off the bat was the cold, hammer-forged, free-floated barrel. Mine is the 22-inch version in 6.5 Creedmoor, threaded 5/8 by 24 right out of the box. Threw a suppressor on it, tuned my zero, and started punching sub-MOA groups with Hornady Precision Hunter like it was a custom setup. I've shot in light rain, hard snow, and out past 300 yards, and it's held zero every single time. The power bedding system, which locks the action into stainless steel blocks molded into the stock, really does its job. This thing is stable, no shift, no wandering point of impact even after a few drops and bumpy rides. The Marksman adjustable trigger is factory-tuned to just over 3.5 pounds on mine. It got clean break and zero creep. Combine that with the 3-lug bolt and 70-degree throw, and you're cycling follow-up shots without lifting your cheek. It also comes with a factory Picatinny rail, which I threw a Vortex Diamondback on with medium rings. Didn't even need to lap the mounts. Its fit was dead on. Even the stock, which is a plain moss green polymer, doesn't feel like junk. Lightweight, weather-resistant, and tough. The rotary mag feeds smoothly, holds 4 rounds, and never hung up on me even in sub-zero temps. I've taken it out for deer and hogs and even used it for overwatch on a buddy's property when we had a coyote problem. No fancy branding, no gimmicks, just a damn fine rifle that gets the job done. If I had to bug out tomorrow with just one bolt gun under $700, it'd be this Ruger. No hesitation.